Hello and welcome to Bible study with me, Christian Holm. Today, welcome to this Bible study series that is called The Recipe for Salvation Bible Teaching Series. Today I am going to go through the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, and verses 6 and 7. And if you're wondering which kind of Bible translation that I'm using when I am recording this video, then I can tell you that it is the New Revised Standard Version from American Bible Society. And I will start reading these two Bible verses first, and both Bible verses first, and then I will start to explain the first Bible verse, and after that I will explain about the second Bible verse. So I repeat, it is the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 6 and verse 7. And by the way, this is part number 17 in this Bible teaching series. Okay, I start reading now. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. That was verse number 6, and now verse number 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Okay, then I will explain the first verse here, verse number 6. Notice that this is a promise. All these beatitudes that are written about in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, and verses 3 until verse 12. In all those verses, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, and verses 3 to verse 12, it is a bunch of promises. It is promises from the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and therefore it is promises that you can rely on. It is promises that you can be sure about, that these promises are sure promises. And the Heavenly Father, YeHoWaH, He always keeps His promises. He keeps His promises. So these are sure promises to Jesus Christ, to Jesus Christ's disciples. It is sure promises to Jesus Christ's disciples. Okay, like verse number 6 here, I read it again. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. The promise is that if you hunger and thirst for righteousness, then you will be filled. With other words, you will be filled so you don't feel hungry. So you don't feel hungry and thirsty for righteousness anymore. You will be filled. You will be that means that you will be helped. You will have a hunger and a thirst for righteousness, for doing righteousness, for doing righteous acts. And that hunger and thirst will intensify, and it will grow, and until you have become perfected in righteousness, and then you only continue to do righteousness, but in perfection. Righteousness in its perfection, all kinds of righteousness. When you have reached that level, so it's not that you don't hunger and thirst for righteousness anymore. You do hunger and thirst for righteousness. You want to continue to do righteousness, but what it means that you will be filled, like you will be satisfied. You will be satisfied with righteousness. You will be, that's what it means. I read it again. Verse number 6. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. They will be satisfied with righteousness. They will be satisfied. They will hunger and thirst for righteousness. When they reach one level, then they will hunger and thirst for righteousness even more, so they will want to go to the next level. And when they have reached that level, then they will hunger and thirst for righteousness, so that they will want to go to the next level. And it will continue like that until they are perfected in righteousness. When they are doing all kinds of righteousness in perfection, and then they are going to continue, of course, to be hungry and thirsty for righteousness, but they will be satisfied. They will be satisfied with the level of righteousness, because then when they have reached that level of perfection in righteousness, the level that Jesus Christ himself had. So this is a promise. It is a promise. Like all these other beatitudes in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 5 and verses 3 to 12, like I mentioned earlier. So yeah, and what kind of righteousness? It can be, for example, that you hunger and thirst for giving money to the poor in secret without bragging about it. It can be that you hunger and thirst for righteousness in the way that you want to pray secret prayer in a secret place. You hunger and thirst for righteousness also in the way so that you want to fast in the secret without letting anyone else than God himself knowing about it. It can be that you are clothing the naked. It can be that you're making sure that the homeless and poor person is having a home. You can hunger and thirst for righteousness in many different ways. And you will learn along the journey. Along the journey, you will learn about many different kinds of actions that are actions of righteousness. Because if you use what you have, you will be given more. So if you use the knowledge you have about what is righteousness, then you will be given more. Because if you use what you have, if you use the knowledge you have received, and you treat that knowledge as precious, and that knowledge shall be used, if you use it, then you can receive more, then you can learn more about what is righteousness. So start somewhere, and you can grow in your spiritual journey, chasing after righteous deeds, chasing after to do righteousness as a lifestyle. Okay, and this the second verse here that I wanted to go through today is in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 7. I read it now. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. This is simply a promise that if you are merciful, then you will be shown mercy by God, by the Heavenly Father, YeHoWaH. If you show poor people mercy, remember, do it without bragging about it, do it without blowing the trumpet, so that not other people then know about it, so that only God knows about it. Keep it as secret as possible. Maybe you cannot do it perfectly secret. That's okay. Keep it as secret as possible. Maybe some people will notice, but okay, then they noticed. But try to keep it as secret as possible, and don't call for more attention than the attention people will give you when you give money to a beggar in the street, you give money to some poor person. Okay, maybe some people notice, but okay, but then they were meant to notice. As long as your intention in your heart was to not try to call for other people's attention, as long as the intention in your heart was indeed to do it as secret as possible. And anyway, if some people noticed, okay, then it was the will of God to let those people notice, because they need to see the light. And one way to show light to people is that, okay, they say, oh, someone gave money to a beggar. It might inspire them. But don't blow the trumpet. Don't brag about it. Okay, don't tell on Facebook about it, for example. Keep it secret. Keep it as secret as possible. Keep your mouth shut. Okay, and so this is a promise. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. I have experienced this many times myself. I have been merciful towards a poor person. I have been merciful towards a beggar. And I have received rewards. I have received miracles that were rewards for my mercy. When I was in a troubled situation, when I was in trouble, and I really needed mercy, I needed a help, I needed help in my situation, then I was given help in my situation because I had shown mercy to others before. So do it as a lifestyle, do it as a habit, and then it will work. Okay, that was the video for today. Bye bye.